Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Sabbath Prep Friday, where usually I surrender something. Okay, so today the thing that I am going to surrender is stressing. Is anyone else out there stressed or stressing? Okay, so my name is Sheila Rollins, and I am the founder of H.U.L.A Ministries Entertainment and Associates Inc. And on this YouTube, we are Overcomers Anonymous, where we support anyone desiring to overcome anything. And we do it with Jesus Christ being our higher power and also what he has accomplished for us on the cross. Therefore, our deliverance, our holiness, our sanctification, our consecration, our completeness, those things that we thought were impossible becomes possible with Jesus Christ. However, we need to do our part in being obedient, keeping his commandments, his statutes, his judgments. His judgment is like if God determines a certain thing, a certain way to be right, a certain thing to be right, a certain mindset to be right, then we agree with him on his judgment. Um, yeah, we need to also keep the seventh day Sabbath, which a lot of people kind of ignore that, which is the fourth commandment, which was instituted during creation, that one. And I believe it's found in Genesis, the second chapter, verses 1 through 3. It talks about remember the Sabbath day. And then in Exodus, the 20th, the 8th chapter, verses, Exodus 20th, the 8th chapter, verses, I think it's 11 to 14, something like that. I forget. I have it in the chat. But anyway, so I've been stressing out. And I looked up stressing, and it basically said from the Oxford Dictionary that it's about um, being under like a lot of tension. And pressure. And so, we have an emergency in our family. And I'm like, I feel myself like on the edge of my seat, waiting to see what God is going to do about it. I think that I did all that I could do about, because I'm like into those natural remedies and stuff. So, I looked up some information and gave it to my loved one, and um, it's up to them, like to follow it and to trust God. The thing is that in stressing, it's like I think a lot of times as human beings, we want to do something, and the thing that we want to do sometimes it may not be the right thing for the situation. I thank God for the times where I can be a part of an outcome, or a part of something being better. I thank God for those times. I hate the times where, like right now, where there isn't anything else that I, excuse me, know to do, or anything else that, because of that, not knowing, like, what else can I do? So I pray. And so I'm reminded of a conversation that I had with a young man this week. I was talking to him on the bus about, my YouTube. I don't know how the conversation started, but I was telling him to check out my YouTubes. I have two of them and this, that, and the other. And we were just, having a conversation, about veganism. And I can't remember what else we was talking about. And out of the blue, he asked me, was I married? And, my answer is yes, that I'm married to Christ. And that means something. It's like when you have a good husband, we don't have to stress. And when you are married to Christ first, which I am, you married to him first, you learn that you could trust him. You learn that you can put the things that you care about, like he says, to cast your cares upon him because he cares for us, okay? And that you can trust him, with that. And so, still, even knowing all those scriptures, it's funny how we have to be reminded of stuff. So, when I told the guy that I was married to Christ, I meant that I looked to him as my Lord, my Savior, my provider, my protector, and the priest. I look to him for these things. And that experience has taught me that as he has delivered me or answered my prayer in a favorable way in times past, that I can trust him to do that even now. There has been some times where I've had to trust God in death. And what I mean is, like, say a loved one, maybe a couple loved ones. Okay, for example, when my mother was sick, and before my mother died, she was blind, and she did not want to live blind. And, she had a kidney problem, she had really bad problems with diabetes, whatever. And she didn't want to live. And, I would see her like, like trying to eat and stirring up her food and then missing her mouth, you know what I mean? Or missing where she stirred her food up and stuff. And that's no reason to want a person to die. The thing is that she didn't want to be here like that. And so I sympathize with her, even though I wanted her to be here with me. She no longer wanted to be on this earth, not being able to see, and not the condition that her organs and stuff like that was in because of, like, maybe the diet that she chose, um the route of her lifestyle, whatever, that kind of like impacted her health as years got on and as she started to get older. And so I trusted God, when I prayed, and I seen where maybe she had trouble eating or she couldn't hardly drink, and, stuff like that. And maybe sometimes she would have pains and just a lot of different things. I can't remember right now all of what they were. But when I asked God to take her, to lay her to rest in Him, and He did that, I wasn't angry or anything. My heart, in a certain way, even though I knew that I would miss her, but that I was relieved that she wasn't suffering anymore. So I've had to trust Christ with death, and then I've trusted Him with life. I remember when I was getting my children, each one of them blessed, dedicated to God. I was trusting Him, turning their lives over to Him. I was trusting Him. And so even now, it's like, while it is my youngest daughter right now that's having a health concern, and I have been overly stressing about it because she's been through so much, um, I have to trust God. The reason why is one of the reasons why is that she's His creation. She may have came out of my body, but she is His creation first and foremost. And because I know that if I don't know, if I didn't know at any other time in my life, today I know that I can trust God and that He loves me and He loves my daughter way more than I could ever love her. And so this Sabbath Prep Friday, I am surrendering, stressing over my daughter having a health concern. So pray for me. Check out my other YouTube, The Pursuit to Christ, my playlist. I can't talk about the food right now because it's the Sabbath, but I have some videos in the description which is the arrow next to the title. Check that for some scriptures or, more about the YouTube, okay, and how to contact me. All right, I love you, and I'll see you in the next YouTube. Now unto him that is able to keep you from falling and to present you faultless before the presence of his glory with exceeding joy. To the only wise God, our Savior, be glory and majesty, dominion, and power, both now and ever. I love you. See you in the next YouTube.